Righto, today we're going to have a look at the HPD intercooler that I've just bought and fitted. As you can see, it comes with all the pipes necessary to hook it up. I use better hose clamps than what they provided. I think that's the weak link. Came with a thermocouple there, cuts in and out at 50 degrees. I did have it mounted on the other side, but it came on too often, so I'm going to trial it there, see how that goes. And the only thing we had to do to fit this thing, besides put it in, was cut the top boot off that rubber. There we go. If you have a look on yours, you'll see it's got a little foot on it. So my wife just got a pair of scissors and ran around and cut it off, and she did quite a good job. It seals down nicely, and I've tested it. There's quite a lot of air being sucked in. This is fan forced, so that fan really pulls some air through. Okay, let's have a look at that Dawes valve and the boost gauge setup. So underneath there is where it all starts. You can maybe just see it, that goldy looking pipe just below the bolt head there is where the vacuum line comes up. So it comes up through there, goes underneath the intercooler to the top there, that hose there, which then comes around. That's that brownie looking one closest to the oil cap. So that's coming from the vacuum line, comes up around, I'll just zoom out a little bit, and then goes to that filter. So from the filter it comes straight out, goes to that T-piece there. Now that T-piece, this piece here, this is running back inside my cab to my needle valve. So it simply comes out, follows along here. I've just brought it along this way back, and it just goes in through that grommet down there, through the firewall, and simply comes back out of that, runs to the cab, to the driver's side just below the knee. There's a spot under the steering wheel that it sits, it comes back out of there, follows the same line back along here, and then we end up going down to the there it is there, down to the resignator. So it used to come onto these fittings down here, but with a little bit of research you'll find out you've got to block them off and loop them through. So that's what I've done. So that one that comes back from the needle valve is this one here with the hose clamp on it. That's coming back from the needle valve. Just make sure you get that needle valve right, because it has got a flow direction when you install it. So coming back over here to the T, which came from the filter, simply comes around, ducks under that air conditioner pipe, goes straight onto my Dawes valve. From that side of the Dawes valve, it's slipping down and going to the turbo actuator. So straight up there. From the Dawes valve, from the other end of the Dawes valve, this end here, we come along, just follow that pipe, that's it there. So it goes along, it follows that original vacuum line that we talked about, goes back up onto the HPD intercooler, through that block that I purchased when I also bought my Dawes valve and needle valve. Now it goes straight onto there, taps into the intercooler to pick up boost, and then that corrugated line you can see has just got the air line in it, which runs, I've actually run this one back around under here. It goes back under there, drops down, and I found a spot to punch through the cab down on the firewall down there, and then that goes to the boost gauge and the EGT gauge, which I've fitted up inside here. And that's about the installation. So as you can see, I'm really chuffed with my HPD intercooler, and that little girl for a 3 litre goes like a rocket now with that Dawes valve. It's got a really quick spool up rate, not too quick so I don't get an error code, and it runs really well. Cruising on the highway at about 120, I get about 300, 350 degrees, so that's not too bad. Just to show you that that's where I've got my EG exhaust gas temp probe sitting down there. I've tapped into the back of the dump pipe just coming out of the turbo. I'd probably be an inch or two away from the turbo. And the other thing I fitted was this catch can, so straight out of the top of the cover, that pipe underneath this turbo hose onto the catch can, out of the catch can, back in to the filter. Now I've put a baffle in there. It was just an empty box. I don't think that's good enough, so I've baffled it, and hoping all goes well. Hopefully that helps somebody.